Well, good evening, Paynesville area families. Welcome to our Facebook Paynesville Area Schools Town Hall. We're so glad that you joined us tonight. Please remember that if you have any questions that you'd like us to address, just toss those in the chat box and we'll answer them as we go. Special guest tonight, the well-known, ever-popular, and always famous Mr. Brad Skoglund. Welcome, Brad.
Thank you, Mary, and thank you. She is my boss, by the way, Mary, so thank you for inviting me today.
Absolutely. We're so glad you're here. You're here, Skoogs. I hear that you're the recent award winner here at the High School of the Sunshine Award.
Yeah, I guess I've been saying that it's a beautiful sun-kissed day quite a bit lately, so it was really nice to receive the award. And we have a great staff here and connecting with the teachers here and the students. And we just have a great staff here at the high school and at the elementary school also, too. So, yes, very, very flattered to receive this award.
Well, very well deserved. So tell us a little bit about yourself, Skoglund. Who are you? What do you do? How long have you been here?
Well, I'm 60 years old. I taught Phi and Health for 33 years here, and I loved it here. We have great staff and students. And then my retirement year, I went to Kimball for a year and was elementary recess over there and was a Cub for 1 year, but I wanted to get back home and become a Bulldog again. But it was a very good experience for me. It was kind of a personal challenge for me to go to Kimball to see if I could fit in with another staff where nobody knew me. And I thought, I want to try it for a year. And fortunately, it went well. And then talked to some people in Paynesville as I wanted to come back here. And we were able to work things out. And I'm glad to be back here and glad to be a Bulldog.
Awesome. We're glad that you're a Bulldog with us. Yeah, so we brought
Bulldogs.
you back. Go Bulldogs. We brought you back to Paynesville Area Schools as a student engagement liaison. So you have a bunch of different roles with us now. Why don't you tell the audience a little bit about what does Skoogs do now that he's retired?
Well, let's see. I get up at 5:05, get ready for each day, get excited for each day, get my coffee and that. But seriously, as far as the school-wise go, I do school patrol in the morning, and that's a lot of fun. Kids are so excited to come to school. It's just neat to see the kids arrive for school. One of the great things for me as a teacher and as a coach is to see my former students as dads and moms. It is so special to see them, and they share, I love you, son or daughter, love you, mom and dad. it's just outstanding. It's so fun for me to see former students and now their dads and moms. I just love that aspect of school patrol and working with the elementary kids. Anyways, after school patrol, I'm there about 7:30 to 8:30 in the morning. And then sometimes I go over to the high school. I need to put in 2 hours each day at the high school. And then sometimes I go to the high school for about an hour. And then I go to the elementary school for 2 hours over lunch and recess. Today I brought my glove outside to play catch with the kids. So kids, on the nice days, get outside, play baseball with Coach Skoglund. Girls, bring your softball gloves. I'll play catch with you and we'll play some softball. But anyways, I do that for about 2 hours and then go back to the high school, to the open gym there at the high school. And I try to talk and connect with teachers and students. That's the one thing for me at the high school. My role is to connect with teachers and students. And this has really been a struggle, the remote learning and what we've been going through in our society. It's been a challenge and it's very stressful for teachers and staff and for the administrators. We're in very stressful times. And I'm just trying to stay positive and connect with the teachers and students.
Fantastic. And I feel like you do that every day. You emulate what's needed at all of our levels. At the elementary school in particular, we love seeing you in the hallways in the morning after school patrol. We love seeing you come in for recess, and he spends a little bit of time with us in the lunchroom before that first group goes out.
And we get to give chicken wings to the kids once in a while. So kids, make sure we give chicken wings, and it's Double Wing Wednesday. So be ready.
Double Wing Wednesday coming up. 2 more sleeps. So you said that one of the biggest challenges is staying positive with our remote learning and distance learning and those kinds of things. What's the biggest reward that you're finding in your current roles with Paynesville area schools?
I guess for a reward personally, like I mentioned earlier about seeing former students and the athletes, a lot of the baseball players and their dads now, and it's just special to see them to hold their hand of their son and daughter coming to school. I just really enjoy that aspect. I think also just the connecting of kids that I get to see. I'm spending a lot of time with the first graders, and I have it's fun to see the kids and the excitement in their eyes and connect with the first graders. And many times I get the look in their mouths as they open their mouths and show me they're missing a tooth or they have a wiggly tooth. So I get to see that aspect. But they're so fun to be around, and the excitement that the kids bring. It's just a joy. It really is.
Well, fantastic. Scoogs, do you have any final words of wisdoms for our listeners tonight?
Oh, just try and enjoy each day for the kids. Try and enjoy in school and study hard and have fun. And that's what life is all about. Enjoy things and go scatter the joy and go help others. That's what is important in life. It's not necessarily what we do. It's what we do for others that's very important. And again, tonight it's a beautiful sun-kissed day. And just remember, it's Double Wing Wednesday.
Thanks, Scoogs. We'll roll right now into a little video clip that talks about school patrol, which Mr. Skoglund helps us organize in the mornings. And then Miss Audra Laura is in charge of the whole program. And then the interview is also with Colin Wolf. He's a 5th grade teacher, and he's currently housed in our elementary communication lab. So you'll all get a feel for all the wonderful things that go on in the communications lab this year.
School patrol has been around Paynesville Elementary for a long time, at least 30 years. And now this year, with the change in my schedule, I have Brad Skoglund helping me in the morning, which is totally great because then it frees me up to help students in the morning, and then I just do the afternoons. So in this late winter, early spring, we do an application process where the kids fill out a job application. They have to have references, and they just fill out the form. Can they do mornings and afternoons? Can they do afternoons? Do they want to help with the kindergartners and preschool students? Do they go to church for the after school programs? Because then we have to move them around to make sure they get on the buses. It's their first opportunity to fill out a job application. And, we talk to them about, you have to have good grades and you have to make sure your homework is turned in, because that is really important, because this is an extracurricular activity with the kids. And if you're not meeting those academic expectations, then we have them come off of school patrol for a little bit to make sure that their grades and their academics are back up on track. We also have a behavior expectation because they're in a role model position and we want them to be behaving as such. So, not, messing around and goofing off, and there is some wiggle room in that because they are 10-year-olds. So,
Absolutely.
it can't be, totally like, I'm just going to stand there and do nothing. So there is areas of, where we let them kind of be kids, but there is the expectation where they are going to behave. Okay, so the roles that they have is obviously they're going to go out into the street with their stop signs, and they are going to cross students going across the street, which is the biggest role that they do have. And that's probably the most important, is making sure our students get across the street safely. Another role that they have is helping our students to make good choices on the sidewalk. Are they walking, not running and pushing and shoving? That's another one. And we want to make sure that our students are making good choices and they're being safe. So a school patrol student is going to start training in roughly April, around mid-April or so. They finish off their 4th grade year, and then we start again in September, obviously. And then they train the incoming new team in April, and then they can be done in May. So, they put in a full year. And the best part about being out there in the morning was greeting the kids as they got off the bus. That set my day in the morning. I assume that it's the same for Mr. Skoogland, is you get to greet the kids as they get off that bus. It is the best way to start your day. In the afternoon, I get to say, have a great night, see you tomorrow, for all the kids as they're getting on their buses. It is incredible. It's a great way to end the day. I get to know all the kids. So it's not just in my one classroom or my group of students that I work with. I get to see all the kids. I wave, because I'm positioned at middle, which is right outside the elementary office door. I wave to the back half of the buses every day, and the kids see me every day. The kids may not know exactly what my name is, but they know that, I'm the one in the yellow vest outside, so they know they can come and talk to me about anything they need to talk to me about, because they know that I'm someone who is safe, because they see me every day outside, so they know I'm a safe adult. It's an incredible feeling to be outside with those kids every single day.
I'm here today with Mr. Wolf, and we're going to talk about the communications lab a bit. So, Mr. Wolf, first, can you just start off why or how the communications lab became your home base for the remainder of the school year?
So the communication lab actually used to be part of the media center used to be a computer lab, and then this summer they transitioned into a communication lab, meaning they tore out all the desktops and stuff like that, and the space was ready to go, and then there was restrictions. My homeroom was too small, so we had to move to this larger room. But we take advantage of the situation.
In the district now, there are 3 of these camera computer setups for kind of distance classes or distance meetings, school board meetings, a variety of activities. So in the communications lab is one of these setups. So it's a camera in the middle that you see on top, and then a computer underneath. And then the computer branches out to microphones that Mr. Wolf is holding there. And then it branches out to these 2 TVs with the speaker bars underneath them. So you can really interact in a variety of ways. So Mr. Wolf, how have you used the 2 TV setup or the camera setup in class so far?
So we actually use it in a couple different ways. In our daily instructional would be Google Meets with our remote learners. So we actually have this camera set up and would actually view the whole room. So the people at home who's doing the remote learning, they can actually see the whole room. At the same time, I would have something up here, but the remote learners were still interactive because on the back screen, I would cast them up back there, and that way, if they have a question, I always look to the back screen TV, see if they have a question. So having these 3 TVs, having this setup, really kind of helped make the remote learning situation a little bit more interactive. This was a really nice addition for that.
Communications Lab, there's quite a few different small stations of different activities or technology available for students to use. So this one would be our podcasting equipment. Mr. Wolf, can you just talk about what the students maybe will use this for or have used this for already?
So, we're kind of wondering how we're going to kind of incorporate this. And for science, we use this Spitballers podcast as kind of like a springboard. And they got to listen to actual podcasters, how they actually make money. It's their job. And they kind of enjoyed it. And since this past fall, we've had 3 different podcasts, unscripted. It was hilarious because you never know what 5th graders are going to say. And they really enjoyed it. It's a great way for students kind of share their experiences and just to be them. It's another way of communicating versus always maybe typing a paper or whatever.
And I watched the different podcasts. So one of the topics was the children's books.
Yes.
So
we
what
tied,
were the other?
we tied in I Love to Read Month and with the Spitballers podcast. And part of the Spitballers segments is drafting. So they take turns drafting situations and they come up with the best list or whatever, and people vote on Twitter. And so what we did as a class, they got it together into groups. They came up with ideas about the best children's illustrated books and coming up with a list. And they drafted those books. And they had fun with it. First we did the research, went to the library, looked at all the children's books. They reminisce about, oh, this is so cool or whatever. And they had a lot of fun with it. It's good to see them doing the research, organizing their information. And the best part about it, I think, was, when we were live, even though that we had 3 people speaking into the mic, they had their Chromebooks open, had a Google Docs going, and they were able to communicate through their Google Docs what their next pick should be with the other people that they're working with.
In the communications lab, there's a lot of different type of seating, and everything is on wheels, so you can easily move it around. So, Mr. Wolf, can you just explain a little bit how your class has used it? I know it's a little different this year, with the pandemic, but in a general year, how do you envision the furniture to be used?
So when we were kind of furniture shopping, we wanted something mobile because each class that comes in here is going to have a different purpose, a different reason for being in here. So we want to give them the flexibility of setting up the room that fits their needs easily. So everything's going to be on wheels, including the tables. And even these tables, they're not the regular shape. They're different types of shapes, and they can be interlocked together on however you want your room to be set up. The other part too is color coordination. So like this table right here, we got the green trim and we have green chairs. And that just kind of helps out with the visuals and assigning spots. So have one group work on the green table for video editing, another one on the orange tables for something else. So that's why everything's on wheels, so the teacher can make this room fit whatever their needs are. We also have stools for the podcast booth, along with the table, and so it's just a different way of doing things.
So here we have the blue screen wall, which a lot of people know what green screen walls are, but as you can see, Mr. Wolf has green on today, and being that we're the Bulldogs and we're green, if we did a green screen wall, we would have just talking heads, and actually we wouldn't see anyone because of all of our apparel is green. So here's the blue screen wall. Mr. Wolf, can you talk about the blue screen a little bit?
So with the blue screen wall, just kind of back up another use that we had for this room with the camera setup, and we actually had DARE graduation in here. So the classes rotated through here. We're able to broadcast through Facebook each homeroom DARE celebration. So the plan was, after the celebration, the DARE essay winners came back, sat up against the blue screen, and read their speech again, and I was able to get it on Wii Video. Then I replaced the blue behind me with, I think it was some bulldog symbols or something like that. And it turned out pretty sharp. So what's happening right now is Mr. Borgendine in STEAM is teaching the students how to use Wii Video. And one of the components of Wii Video, it's a video editing software, it's online, is replacing the backdrop with whatever thing that you want. And so now the next step would be, if we weren't in a pandemic and this room was open, students could actually come up here, shoot their video, and make it look awesome.
Perfect.
All right, thank you. Thanks, Mr. Dickhausen, for orchestrating this event this evening. Big shout out as well to Mr. Skoogland and Miss Laura for joining us and sharing with our families exactly what School Patrol is. And then to Mr. Wolf, of course, for walking us through all of the materials and the pieces behind the scenes that came and brought the new communications lab to fruition. If you're wondering what our next steps are for the communications lab, we clearly need to train our students and our staff and help them build those foundational skills so that when our kiddos join us here at the secondary level, they have the basics of what some of those creative hands-on activities look like in a meaningful and productive way. So again, a big shout out to the elementary team for all that they did tonight for these videos. And as always, we'll end the evening with a facilities upgrade update for you. So please pay attention to the video that'll play in just a second or two here. If you have questions, please post them on the bottom of the screen. And otherwise, I'm just going to say, go Bulldogs, and I'll be signing out while you watch the video. Thanks, everybody.